What's up, guys, and welcome, Daily Theologians. This is a pretty straightforward video, pretty bland, but hopefully helpful in terms of critical thinking skills, righteousness, and defending the gospel. The reason that I wanted to weigh in on this issue is I did a video on Rittenhouse way back, and it was fairly obvious to me from the circumstances, from the kind of putting all the variables together at the time of those shootings, that it looked like it was self-defense from the videos. They were chasing him. His character was above board. The other people that attacked him had serious criminal records and very, very bad records. And from the video evidence at the time, it was pretty compelling that he acted in self-defense and was not trying to go look for trouble, but they found him. And so now, as the court case continues, it appears more and more likely that that is exactly what happened. Now, we'll wait and see what the jury says, but from all of the previous evidence and the current trajectory of this trial, this quote from the Gospel Coalition is concerning because, again, this is a different religion. We need to think rightly about justice. Doug Wilson, who I know is a spicy meatball, but I appreciate his thoughts and input. I think generally he's right. So do with that what you will. But he said, this idea of social justice is a different religion that is legalistic. It always condemns. It shows sin, 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 but there's no grace. There's never any grace in this movement. And that is true, and it's evidenced here in this flaming quote, comparing Kyle Rittenhouse to Dylan Roof. Really? This is insane. Unarmed black people are killed out of fear. Well, most of the things that happened over the summer, we don't know who exactly this is referencing, but they were criminals, and they were fleeing a crime, or they were resisting arrest. Rittenhouse didn't do that. He was actually assisting law officers earlier in the night. He was cleaning up schools. He was doing things, protecting a business that he worked at in that town. And the police should have been there. The police should have been the ones stopping this. Obviously, this is where Romans 13 failed. And I think what he did was not ideal. As Christians, I wouldn't want to be in that position. But certainly, he protected himself and was within his, I think, his God-given right to do that. And the police and the authorities should have been there. But let me know what you think about this. I think, though, the Gospel Coalition is showing a lapse in error, or a lapse in an error in judgment by leaving this up. I mean, this is a bad quote, bad article. They need to retract it, because this is just a total perversion, a miscarriage of justice here, even naming these guys together. And it shows the desire to please men, to be relevant, to be part of this woke ideology is dangerous. And I would caution you, the Gospel Coalition has some good items that are out there, but I would caution you against using their materials and use wisdom, because they clearly, in some areas here, are not demonstrating a right view of the gospel and a right view of justice. They are poisoned by this ideology that says, look for the fault in everyone else. There's no grace. There's no line between right and wrong. It's all color-based. And this is a form of racism. It's because of the situation and the organizations involved here. So I don't like this article more now than when it was published. And I think James White posted this and some others. And again, some people you won't agree with all the time, but Doug Wilson is right on this, that this is a legalistic, you're wrong because of your race, because of your color, but there's only one race. And the gospel is a gospel of grace, that Jesus Christ lived a perfect sinless life in our place. He bore an infinite hell debt on the cross, died, and rose to forgive whom he will. It's his sovereign grace to give. And as Christians, we need to use right thinking and keep the gospel front and center, and not pervert it into this legalistic woke ideology that is a different gospel. This is not gospel. This is a false view of justice, and this is a wrong view of doing justice, and applying the Christian worldview to the world around us by pointing to everyone else as the problem and never owning our personal repentance and our personal responsibility, so that it's a way to elevate yourself like a Pharisee and say, see, I'm better than you, I'm more righteous than you. When in the reality, that it was the publican that went down to his house justified, not the Pharisee that said, thank you, I'm not like this guy. And so we have to remember this. And I think Doug Wilson made that point as well, but that is very, very important. In the Gospel of Luke, he constantly mentions the religious Pharisees And what you see is a pattern of true godly repentance and these self-righteous religious people. And I would say that the Gospel Coalition is demonstrating that I would be very cautious with their materials. And obviously they're made up of individuals, and not everyone believes this, and it's not all, one person. But when you see these organizations start taking a hard right or a hard left, if you will, just maybe consider not using their resources because I think they will cause people to stumble. Let me know what you think about this. And keep your eyes on the Rittenhouse trial. It really is a case for will justice stand, will the rule of law stand, or will tyrannical, evil, rioting criminals prevail? And again, I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying this seems to be a very straightforward case. So thanks for watching. Hammer that like button like the 95 Theses and subscribe to the channel. God bless.